To say the last year was challenging would be an understatement. It was even challenging for income investors as companies cut, suspended, or canceled dividends. In fact, nearly a fifth of income investors have had to reassess their finances in response, with 19% having pushed back their retirement plans. We've heard where our managers are finding opportunities in the market, but how soon will other dividends recover? Although some sectors will continue to have difficulties in 2021, Stuart Rhodes, manager of M&G Global Dividend, is broadly positive for the year ahead.
I think the outlook for dividends generally in 2021 is clearly going to be better than what we went through in 2020, but that is caveated to the fact that 2020 was the worst year we've had really since the Second World War. So, dividends are coming from a very, very low base as we move up through into 2021. But I think there are signs for optimism that clearly the dividend environment is going to be much, much better. And a lot of the companies that felt under almost social pressure or just withdrew their dividends or lowered their dividends just out of an abundance of caution, really, I think we're going to start to see that fade away and those dividends march back up to the levels that they once were.
Andre Zollinger, manager of BlackRock Continental European Income Fund, agrees the dividend picture in the European market looks good, and meeting with management teams has also been positive.
What we're hearing from management teams is that most management teams are actually very keen to bring dividends back in case they have cut them in 2020. So again, the outlook for European dividends going into 2021 looks actually quite good. It's been quite a steep decline last year. I would think we're going to see quite a nice rebound this year, maybe not quite back to the levels we've seen in 2019. Obviously, 2021 is still quite heavily impacted by things like lockdown in Europe, for example. So in terms of macroeconomic recovery, I would think 2022 is going to be a normalized year. And hopefully 12, 18 months out, dividends in Europe can return to the levels we've seen pre-crisis.
Mark Rimmer, co-manager of Premier Miton Multi-Asset Monthly Income, is also optimistic about the outlook as we all hope for a return to normalcy.
So as we come out of lockdown gradually in the near future, the economy starts to pick up, consumption recovers, travel recovers. So we see this trend of companies continuing to reinstate their dividends continuing. Also, there'll be a recovery in dividends in many international companies, particularly in Europe. And our multi-asset approach really gives us the flexibility to look at overseas markets for dividends should we need to. So therefore, in summary, as economies come out of lockdown and recover over the course of this year, so we think it'll be a good environment for dividends, and hence investing in equities will prove to be a good source of income.
And let's look at the overseas market. Karen C., co-manager of Baillie Gifford Japanese Income Growth, is encouraged by the current results season in Japan.
Yeah, we focus more on the long term, so it's difficult for me to give you my outlook for dividend 2021. But when we are going through the results season, which is at the moment in Japan, we're seeing quite a few businesses revising the full year forecasts, which is encouraging. It suggests that actually corporate Japan is seeing pockets of recovery in the underlying business. And just given a bit of sort of background, Japan hasn't really cut dividends as drastically as those in many other markets. So if you compare Japan to, say, the UK, around half of the FTSE 100 cut or cancelled dividend in 2020. For Japan, that's about 20%. So Japan is going into 2021 in quite a different starting point, with quite a different starting point to others from a dividend perspective.
So there is some good news with companies eager to reinstate and potential offerings of special dividends. It looks like the worst is now behind us. Although it will take a few years to get back to pre-COVID levels, our elite-rated managers continue to be optimistic about the future. To hear their views on where to find opportunities in the market, be sure to watch our first video, Finding Income in a Low-Income World. For more information on any of the funds featured, please visit fundcalibre.com, and don't forget to subscribe for weekly videos.